Hey guys, wait a second. Hold the phone. You're still in sub, aren't you? Hey, subscribe, will you? Okay, back to it. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In the last video, and this is our WordPress plugin building series. In the last video, we finished off by, we did some changes to our video layout here. We got them to show correctly in the right order. And then we also created, we spruced up our videos view page a little bit. And then also, on a refresh, it shows an ad, right? We created like this ad block space, which I keep telling you, check the terms of service for anything you're doing to make sure it's not breaking anything, because I really don't know. And that's really true. I really don't know. I didn't even look. I just decided to show you how to build this. Anyway, if we take a look at that, first of all, it disappears too fast on a refresh. Second of all, there's not really much information being shown here about the advertiser, nothing like that. And I want to actually create a settings area for this back here where we can actually input a bunch of information for the advertiser. And we're going to do that in our next video. But in this video, I want to actually make that section look a little bit better. So let's just jump right back into Visual Studio Code. And I went ahead and word wrapped my code because it wasn't showing properly before. It wasn't word wrapped. And it was all off the side. So like if you press Alt-Z, you see how it wasn't. It's in Visual Studio Code, it's just Alt-Z to word wrap, okay? And that'll help you a lot if it's like mine, which was way off screen. So as you know, at this point, we have a 5,000 millisecond page. The fade in, fade out functions in jQuery that we're fading and fading out our ad unit in our video. Well, the thing is I'm just going to set those to 50,000, so that's almost a minute, right? 50 seconds. And so we can get a better look at the video, and I could just take these functions out, but I'm just going to leave them in anyway. And I wanted to focus on the ad unit section, and what I want to do is break it into a two-column. I want to have two columns, and I want to put some info on the right, and then I want to do some other kind of fun little stuff I'll show you here in just a second, just to kind of give you more of an example about using jQuery, and then also to make an actual little functional advertiser section. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually give ourselves some space in this ad unit box. Don't worry, we'll take away all the stuff all the space we don't use here pretty quick. All right, and what I want to do here is I want to actually create a two-grid system, similar to how we have our three-grid system down here. This is the one that's creating the grids, the number of posts, remember, underneath here, that's creating these grids for us. I want to do two-grid system right here, and the way we do that is we're actually going to bring up this grid container, and then we're going to close it out. But the problem is it's using the styling in our database for a 3-grid layout. It's using 3 fractional. We actually need to create it 2 fractional. And if you need to get more on grid, you can go look up like W3 Schools, just how grid works. It's using fractionals. And we're just going to do a lot of inline styling here. So for anybody that doesn't like inline styling, you know, cower in terror, because I'm getting ready to do a lot of inline styling. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but in this particular example, I really don't care. Of course, guys, if I was making this like a enterprise application, I keep saying this, I would probably do it a little bit differently. But this is just to show you how to get it done. And everybody codes different, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, we need to override the grid template columns because right now it's incorrect. We actually need to do a 1FR style. That's a 2 fractional, and we want them to be equal in size. So what we're really saying is we need 2 fractionals that are the same size inside of this new grid we're making. Okay, we don't need 3 fractionals or it's not going to work right. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just go ahead and take the grid item, the class, and we're going to create 2 of these grid items, okay? Just like this, and then we're going to close it out. Okay, and then we're going to take another one and we're going to do the same thing. Just go ahead and copy and paste it. Okay, and now we have 2 grids inside of our grid container, and we closed off our div right here. So from the ad, I'm sorry, that's the ad unit. This is our 1 fractional and our 2 here. So if we go ahead and just give ourselves some space on these. All right, now we have 2 grid items, right? And now inside these items, we can do whatever we want. But in the first grid item on the left, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to pull in this iframe source. And I'm actually going to take this, and I'm just going to pull that code up into this first grid item. So now we have a grid here. We have a first grid item that has the YouTube video in it. And if we go and we refresh our page, you'll see it's going to be over to the left. And we have nothing in the right? Okay, so now we're setting up to have a little bit more advertiser space where we can actually say some stuff about our advertiser. So let's go ahead and just do a couple of things on this side. Let's go for like, maybe just I keep needing to use Emmet. I'm about ready to slap myself for not using Emmet. All right, and let's just say get I'm pretty sure, or this is how you spell Michelin. Okay, and I actually misspelled Michelin anyway. We would actually set this up. We're actually going to set this up in our back end anyway, so it's not really going to matter in the end. But I just wanted to show you an example. And actually, I want that as an HR. I want to break it up with a horizontal rule. I do a lot of horizontal rules just to show you guys how to break up some content. And then down here, we're going to say something like, we sell the best tires around, and check us out to find out for yourself. All right. So if we head back over to this side again, you're going to see it's already changed after it's been 50 seconds or so, and it's going to change. Okay, now as you can see, we have a headline and we have some text here, right? And okay, so it's not looking too terrible. The problem is because of the theme I'm using Themify, and it has all of its custom settings built in. I can go change anything I want, total at the page level. Like all text should be black, right? Like that's why all this is this color. I could actually go to the back end and do that on this particular page and say, hey, I want everything in this page to be black. But you know what? If yours wasn't, or if you needed to do it inline, I'm going to show you how to do it inline anyway. Like I said, I don't mind doing a bunch of inline today. So that's where we're going to go with that. And then what I want to do is I actually want to also add, I think I want to add a button too. Let's give it a break again, and then let's just go for a button input. Okay, so we're just going to go button. We're going to say type is also button, and then let's go for, I don't think I even want to give it a class. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I also think what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to think about what I want to do here. All right, so I'm going to make a button, and I'm just going to say visit Michelin now. And then also we could wrap this in an A tag. Pretty sure we do it on the outside with buttons. And we could go ahead and give it a location. Like, let's just put this as Google. I know it's not going to the advertiser, but we would just like go to Michelin's website or something like that. And if we head back over here and we refresh again, you'll see we should have a button under there, and we do. Good. And if we click it, it's going to go to Google, but we don't want it, we actually want to open it in a new tab. So remember how to do that is target and then underscore blank. Okay, and that's going to open this in a new window, so we're not going to have to deal with this in the same window, and we don't want it to. We'd want an advertiser to open out of our site anyway. So back on the refresh, you see, okay, now we're getting some more information for the advertiser. Well, a few different things here. What if we wanted to create a way for, so first of all, they can click this video and they can navigate, or they can click this ad and it will navigate away. It'll create a new Google tab. Okay, so that's perfect. We can pick whatever we want for that. But what if we also wanted to create a skip button, just like YouTube has? If you wanted them to be able to skip your ad after, say, like 5 seconds, right? All right, well, let's make one of those. I'll show you, and then we're going to do a little bit of jQuery. We're going to change up our JavaScript a little, and we're going to make this pretty cool. We're going to create another button, and we're going to make this one also a type button. I'm going to try to keep this video always, as usual, shorter than, you know, forever, because I think we're already at like maybe 10 minutes, and that's usually my cap. So let's say that we want this one. I don't really care about its class, but I do want it to have a no display style. You know how we did that with the video, our original video, so the ad shows and our video doesn't? So this button's not going to display by default. It's just going to hang out in the background. And we need to give it an ID. I'm going to call mine the skip. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm just calling it the skip so we can skip it. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to say skip ad, and then we're going to close out our button. All right, and for the sake of just being able to see it, I'm actually going to take away this display none right here, just for the moment, just so we can go back and you can check it out. You can see that it's in there. I'm probably going to give it a couple of breaks as well, just to break it away from the other one. Now let's take a look real quick. All right, so that's what it's going to look like when it actually pops in. It's going to have a skip ad button like this, but right now it doesn't do anything. So we have to actually give it a function to do something, and we can do that by going up into our JS right here, and we can actually add a function in here, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So in order to create a simple function inside of JavaScript, you just have to say function and then whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to call mine skipper. And then you need to open and close parameters. We're not passing any, and then your squiggly brackets. And now we have a function we can call to from our button down there after we've written it. And so what do you think we want to do? The skipper needs to do exactly what these two functions are doing. It needs to fade in our real video and fade out the ad. Well, how do you think we do that? It's this, just like this. Instead of using those timers, we do it just like that. And now it's doing the same exact thing that those are actually timing themselves to do. It's just doing on its own right here. Okay, it's doing with the skipper function, but we haven't connected the function, so right now it's doing nothing, right? So down here, in order to make it actually do it, and by the way, let's go back and display. Let's go back to display this as none. Okay, and then in the what we're going to do is we're actually going to set an on-click event for this button, and that's kind of the way to be able to call a function from a button. And so on its on-click event, all we need to do is have it do the function. So all we have to do is take this function right here and put it in the on-click event. And now this skip ad button right here is going to do exactly what we want it to do. Skip the ad by default. And by the way, I actually want to remove this again. I don't want to put it in. I don't know why I keep putting it back, because I actually want to test it. So if we head back, okay, now we're going to have a skip ad button. So now it's being skipped, right? Okay, cool. But a couple issues that we still have with this. The first one being, we don't want the skip button to show immediately. That's why we have the display none. So back in here, if we wanted the advertiser's video to actually play for, say, 5 or 10 seconds before the user could skip it, we want to do that. We can also easily accomplish this with jQuery exactly the same way up here. All we have to do is set another timeout function that fades in our button. Okay, that's all. That's all we have to do. So how do we do that? Well, we just copy this right here, make a new one, just like this. And then in the function, instead of it having a fade out on add unit, all we have to do is take the skip, because that's the ID of our skip button, and then do a fade in, and then call it for, say, 5 seconds. Or like in this case, let's make it 3 seconds so it does it pretty quick. Okay, let's check that out. The cool thing is we've already written a ton of the code to do a lot of this stuff. Okay, wait for it, and our skip ad button shows up. Look at that. Now we have a skip ad button. Ad is skipped. All right, so we've already accomplished adding a skip button, right? And that's something that that the user would very much appreciate, obviously, like on YouTube when you skip ads. But now let's go ahead and do something else, which is I think I'm going to actually mute my sound, and then I'm going to set the autoplay function. So this is the embed code you get from YouTube, obviously, that we've been putting in everything. It has control 0, autoplay 0. In order to make the video autoplay, you just have to say 1 in the autoplay. In the SRC, you just have to put autoplay to 1, and then our ad will autoplay. Hey guys, this is a continuation. Actually, I know this kind of cut into a different part of the video. The first part of my video, or the second part of my video, got ruined from the first half because one of the videos was autoplaying behind, and somehow my screen recorder was capturing onboard audio, and it was like you couldn't hear anything I was saying. All you could hear was the dumb video playing in the background. So I just wanted to start right back from where we left off, which is where I had set the autoplay controls, or I was setting the autoplay controls of our video for the advertiser section of our site to autoplay when you refresh. And right now it's not autoplaying. So if we were to set this to 1, like I was saying, the video is going to autoplay in the background. Okay, but the problem is with this is that it continues to autoplay even when the ad has been skipped. So in the background right now, you'd still hear the audio from that video playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. It wouldn't go away even when you're trying to watch this video. How do we solve that problem? Well, it's pretty easy. You actually can use jQuery for this too. You can actually change the solution is to take the iframes SRC, its source of where it's actually getting its video from, and then delete that or set it to a blank page so we don't have to deal with that anymore. And we're going to do that just like this. So in the jQuery, actually, first thing we have to do is set an ID for our frame, because right now it doesn't have one, and let's just call it advid. Okay, and now we have an ID we can call to from our skipper function. So we're going to call this, and we're going to call advid attr. For attribute, we're going to set an attribute. The attribute we're going to set is the SRC, like I just said, and we're going to set it to about blank. This is a call letting the browser know that it needs to go to a blank page. So on the click of the skip button, it's going to set this source to a blank page. I also want to copy this function and set it into this is already written it above. So this is the function. It's also inside of our fade out function for our ad unit. Okay, we put it in there as well, so that on both of them it'll stop it from auto playing. Okay, and we set the autoplay to 1. Now I'm going to show you what happens. Okay, and the audio stops, right? The video's done playing. So we just solved that dilemma. So we just successfully created a little fun advertiser section where a video auto plays and it has a skip button and it has a visit the advertiser button and all that. And in the next video, what we're going to do is we're actually going to create those as settable options in our dashboard. We're going to create a new settings area, add those settings, then make it customizable. So I think that's going to wrap us up. I don't want this one to go longer than 20 minutes, and I think it's getting close. Anyway, hey, do I have to tell you anymore? Just do it, all right? And will you? And comment if this was helpful to you, or if you need any help with it. The GitHub has been updated as of tonight for the video prior to this one. I'll update this code in there as well soon. And other than that, hey, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.